Okay, another eBay radio. This is a Cherokee CBS-500. Obviously, no screws. It was listed as broken, which it probably is. Haven't plugged it in yet, just took it out of the box, threw it up on the bench. No screws. Supposedly the speaker's just flapping around inside, and it's sort of been rigged, rigged in there somehow. So let's take a look. There's a speaker sitting on top of a piece of plastic. So yeah, that's that's pretty good. So now the first thing I see is this bodge with heavy what is that, 16 gauge power cable, and they've got one end of it soldered to the external speaker jack where the pin would, the tip would go, and it's just soldered to the tab. So yeah. Okay. And the other one is soldered to the top of this transformer, and we've got two wires just flapping in the wind here. And down on the circuit board, and this is really good, SPK1. I wonder what SPK means. So yeah, go figure. Why do that? That makes no sense. So other than that, I don't see anything really obvious in here as far as anything that's been removed or replaced. It actually all looks pretty good. So, well, let's take a look underneath it. Take the bottom off. Let's see what we got under here. This will probably be equally entertaining, I'm sure. So, get a bin for screws, which I know I've got several of them around here. What in the world have I done with them? Oh well. Anyway, I have to clean up some of those bins that come catch-alls for screws. So the cabinet looks warped. That's kind of ominous. Board doesn't look cracked. So let's get into this thing. And what else? I guess maybe it's the feet. Yeah, it's probably the feet. So let's get the feet off. No, it's not the feet. Okay. Some in the back. Taking that foot off was a waste of time. Can't get the screwdriver into that screw. Anyway, this radio is supposedly modifiable. These were, when I started, getting out of communications and fiddling with communications, these were coming in. I mean, these were sort of the new generation of radios. So, yeah, that's a little warped, but that's okay. Let's see what we got under here. Well, first glance, nobody's really been soldering under here, so that's pretty good. Well, we do have something unsoldered right here. That's obvious. Oh, and we've got 3 components unsoldered here. So what's up with that? Oh, look at that. That plastic was actually the screws. So just because this is just highly annoying, we don't need that for now. Because I'll get a proper speaker to put in there. I'm not going to fiddle with that. That's obviously just completely rigged. So what are we missing here and here? What's going on here? Looks like 2 jumpers and a resistor, according to the the labeling on the circuit board. R451 and J68 and J70. Maybe that's the mod. Maybe that's some mod. We also have a wire unsoldered that looks like it went up to, oh, there we go. as a microcontroller and all that jazz is actually behind the panel. I was actually beginning to wonder because I didn't see anything down here. I was thinking maybe under that can is where there was the PLL microcontroller and all that. But no, there it is right there. LC and what in the world is all that epoxy about? Obviously they didn't want you to get to that, so I wonder what that's about. So, well, other than that, I don't know. Plug it in and see what happens. Which the right way to plug something like this in, obviously, is to if you have an AC power supply, is to use an AC power supply, which I do have, and just turn the voltage all the way down on it, put it on your amp scale, and start turning it up and see if you see any current draw, which I don't see any huge current draw. So let's see. There's no real current draw, so we'll fire it up, and we have a display and the channel selector works, which is looks like it's just a rotary encoder. Yep, that's just a rotary encoder, and just looks like it's doing your regular 40 channels. That goes to channel 9. Not sure what DW means. Automatic noise limiter, a scan feature. Looks like the radio is probably working, except that I've pulled the speaker out, so it looks like it may very well work. At least going by the fact that when I put this scan on and I close the squelch, it starts scanning, and when I open it, it stops. So that part of it's working. So okay, I don't know what this is wired like, so I've got this Washington microphone. Let's see if it doesn't do something ominous when I plug it in. Actually, it looks like it might be wired the same, because when I hit, I see that we're transmitting, so for the sake of not damaging it, let's put it on a dummy load. And yeah, it's got output. According to that, according to this watt meter I got sitting over here on the bench. Not very much output, but it does have output. No audio. At least it could be, this microphone could be just wired directly. I'll have to look up the wiring for this, but it has output. Receive, well, let's give it a go, since I was probably a little premature in pulling this loose. So let's not use that, because that's sort of a pain in the ass, but let's give this a go. I don't really like this. Clearly this is somebody's idea of a fix. So let's just put that back and see if we get noise at least out of this. You get noise, so let's just stick a screwdriver into that. Yeah, I'd say that it's doing something. Alright, well, maybe what this thing needs for repair is simply the right speaker. And me flicking the AC power supply switch, you know, safety first. This thing is live, even though that is isolated, but it's still live. You know, there's still mains on this. So yeah, switch it off, unplug it. You know. So what now? See if I can't find some documentation on this, and you know, go from there. Other than that, it's remarkably intact. It hasn't really, it hasn't been destroyed or anything, except for this. I mean, this is just wow, really. I mean, this was clearly your speaker. I see that this metal over here has been bent as well. So yeah, I mean somebody's had a go at it, but they haven't had too bad of a go at it. They haven't obviously done anything serious, because it appears to be receiving it, and it appears to be transmitting. So that much I'm certain of. Now, as far as the modification for these goes, I know it was something, you know, around the microcontroller that I read briefly. And, you know, thinking about it now while I'm fiddling around with this, the microcontroller had that epoxy on it. And which I really hate, because it's really hard to get it off. I mean, if you're gonna try to stop somebody from getting at it, I mean, you can get the epoxy off. That's not gonna really deter me a whole lot. So, you know, whoever made this Cherokee, whoever you may be, nice try. It isn't really gonna work. Wow, this thing is assembled in a fairly interesting way. There's a screw down here, these two screws to get this front panel off, and you can't get at those, and there's a screw. Yeah, this is going to take some doing to get at that. That's a rather interesting way of assembling it. So, you know, unless that's supposed to hinge or something, I mean, I don't really get it. I'm going to give that take this one out and see if this thing is supposed to hinge. I mean, I don't think so, but it almost looks like that was the intention, for that to hinge or something. Oh no, you can't hinge it because of these controls. And they're still connected to the circuit board down here, so no, that's a bad idea. Well, I can definitely get that out, but yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to really see that epoxy on there very well, but yeah, they marked it off, and I can probably chip at it and get it off, which I'll, you know, take a look at. I can feel some components in the epoxy, and that's probably what they're trying to stop you from getting at those pins. It's not really going to stop me very much, so anyway, that's the first look at the Cherokee. That I'm rather disappointed. I was actually hoping for it to be like really broken, so that I had something to fiddle with, but it looks like it just needs minor repairs, and that's it. So anyways, thanks for watching.